Yes, you're right. Netanyahu met with the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth at the Pentagon Wednesday afternoon, really in a show of solidarity. As you mentioned, Netanyahu is the first foreign leader to come to Washington, D.C. since Trump's inauguration. And of course, there's a lot of chatter about the continued relationship, about how U.S. Middle East policy will continue to unfold. So really, of course, critical to that is the U.S.'s military-industrial complex, which is exactly why Netanyahu was at the Pentagon. They did have a brief press conference and made some remarks reiterating the friendship between Israel and the United States and their united mission, as they see it, to quote, to destroy Hamas as well as Hezbollah and interrupt Houthi infrastructure. Hegseth did make promises to continue supplying Israel with arms. And he also made mention of the joint press conference Netanyahu had with President Donald Trump Tuesday night in terms of his plan to take over Gaza. Hegseth saying at that meeting with Netanyahu Wednesday afternoon that this was a plan that demonstrated Trump's willingness to think outside of the box. Now, Netanyahu will be in Washington, D.C. through Saturday. He's meeting a number of officials, including U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson on Thursday. He did also have an audience on Wednesday morning with National Security Advisor Mike Waltz.
Well, during a joint news conference with Netanyahu, Trump said the U.S. would take over the Gaza Strip. So what is the reaction to this in the U.S.?
Extremely strong reactions to what some people say is against international law. Democratic politicians coming out very strongly. Some of them have called this plan to take over and own Gaza as crazy. Others say that they're appalled. Rashida Tlaib, who is the only Palestinian in Congress representing Michigan, which has the largest population in the United States of Arab Americans, simply said on social media that Palestinians aren't going anywhere. There really is shock at the brazen nature of Trump's announcement. I will say, though, many on the Republican side have praised what Donald Trump is planning, even if there are a few that say they were blindsided. Important to note that a day later, Wednesday, there has been some attempt to walk back what he said specifically about permanently resettling Palestinians, because this is, of course, a departure from policy from U.S. presidents past, and also clearly underscores that there's no intention for a two-state solution. So that notion really not palatable to many in the United States. And so there was some attempt by both the Secretary of State Mark Rubio as well as Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt earlier to walk that back and say that the intention was for a temporary relocation. But that, of course, remains to be seen. On top of that, not just U.S. politicians reacting, but also human rights organizations. Let's have a listen.
This idea that America should take over Gaza is contrary to both international law, to common sense, to morality, to anything that you name, to rationality. So it just came out of left field, very bizarre.
Gaza is Palestinian, it's Palestinian land, it's a sovereign land. The audacity and nerve for him to carry on his business title, to act like he can make this into a business deal, is very absurd. It's sad, but also laughable at the same time.
He made a statement to that effect that he is committed to achieving long-lasting peace in the Middle East. And to us as a community and within the MENA region, there is no pathway to peace without ensuring that the Palestinians have self-determination and have a sovereign state of their own.
Now, there is also widespread reaction coming in from overseas. World leaders have not jumped on board Donald Trump's plan. We've had representatives from China, from Spain, from France, the United Kingdom, and other places, Canada, many of these allies of the United States and other independent observers saying that the Palestinians do have a right to their homeland, and Donald Trump's plan to take over Gaza is breaking international law and cannot be sanctioned.
Well, Poppy, we've seen widespread demonstrations against Donald Trump's policies are being held across the U.S. So what are they protesting against?
A laundry list of complaints. Let's remind our viewers, Donald Trump has only been back in the White House for 2 weeks, and he has signed a raft of executive orders, which did indeed start on his first day in office, and that has caused a lot of opposition, as you say, protesters on the streets. Some of these issues include his heavy-handed approach to immigration, one plan of which is to send 30,000 deportees to Guantanamo Bay, an infamous prison in United States modern history. On top of that, just today signing executive orders banning transgender athletes. He's also been criticized for plans to dismantle the Department of Education. And of course, we also have the Gaza takeover that just happened on a Tuesday night. On top of that, really important to notice that the gutting of the federal bureaucracy has been top of mind for Trump. So there are a lot of individuals all over the country that have different interests that really have been shocked by some of what Trump has proposed and the policies that he's trying to put into place. Another key area of consternation is Trump's right-hand man, Elon Musk. Of course, he's a tech billionaire, and for many, they feel he's come out of nowhere to lead this Department of Government Efficiency, which of course is seeking to shrink the federal bureaucracy. They've offered buyouts to thousands of federal workers, including those in the CIA. And for many Americans, this is a power grab, and they're very, very angry about this. In addition, Donald Trump continues his vendetta against those who he sees as his political enemies, those who sought to held him accountable for the January 6th insurrection. And top of the list are FBI personnel who are currently under extreme pressure, many of whom face potentially being fired. So again, across the country, protests, because there's a huge feeling that Donald Trump's actions are anti-democratic, and people are worried about civic and human rights going forward.
Well, thank you very much.